Hello, hello. For those of you who are joining us, welcome, welcome. If you're watching us on replay, hello, hello. And let's see, if you can, I would love it if I could see your lovely faces, if you could turn your cameras on. If you're driving or if you're doing something else, not a worry at all. I just like seeing the people that I'm talking to. So today's class is about embodied energetics. Woohoo! We've got a big class, lots going on. For those of you who don't know me, I am Dr. Amanda Chan. Hello, Helen. And I am a chiropractor in Ottawa, in Canada. I know we have some people joining from all over, from Europe, from everything. I know. So hello to all of you who are on the replay. In my work, I focus on 3 areas of growth and growth as a whole person. And the areas are nervous system regulation, identity, and energetics. In my chiropractic practice, I help people regulate their nervous system. So we do a lot of nervous system work. And then through these master classes and the immersions that I teach, we go into the aspects of identity and energetics. Energetics being something that we're going to be talking about today. But the key element in everything I teach is the ability to embody what you learn. What does that mean? It means to take the information, so something that I say or something that you hear or that you deem, hey, this is important to me. I want you to bring that, take an action to bring that into your body, to bring that and further anchor it into your nervous system. This isn't the type of masterclass, and the work that I do isn't the type of masterclass that you listen and then that's it, right? You're like, oh, that was interesting. I remember hearing something there. It is, you take that information and bring it into your everyday life. You take an aligned action, you make a choice, you make a decision based on that new information, and then you live with that decision, meaning like you live through that and make it true within you. And then that's how you embody something. It's the difference between the mechanics of learning how to ride a bike or drive a car versus actually doing it. You can read all the books that you want about driving a car, and they're going to be helpful, super helpful. You're going to learn the road signs, you're going to learn all these things. And you are never going to get it in your body until you embody, until you actually drive the car. So that's the piece that is the through line of everything that I do, is that it needs to be in your body because we are physical beings. Okay, so the 3 pillars are nervous system regulation. There is a 3-day masterclass that's free on nervous system regulation already. That was back in January. So I can send out the replay if you need that. We did last month, there was a 7-day training on embodied identity. And so today we're going to discuss the last pillar for creating long-lasting change and growth as a whole person. You found yourself here. You are here for a reason. Whatever it is, whether you saw the graphics, whether you heard about the course, the masterclass, whatever it is, something brought you here. So my hope for you today is that you hear what you are meant to hear while you're here, but also then to embody that piece of information to make a change towards the life that you desire. And the way to take the action is in alignment with the information that you are going to hear. Right? So if you say, oh, this piece of information changes the way I see about things. Okay, what action can I take based on that to show myself or to prove to myself that this is true? Because I don't want you to say, I don't want you to take everything I say as truth. I want you to prove it in your life. Go, that's interesting. And even when you're listening, you can be like, okay, that I agree with, that I totally don't agree with. Either way, let me prove it true or not true. And then from there, you can decide what is true for you. Because there's all different truths based on who we are, the experiences we've had in our lives. And we can shift some of that as well. So whatever it is that you hear, if it triggers you, there's a healing in it. If you hear something that inspires you, great. Make an action step from inspiration, and then you will get a different result than you have always got. That's the beauty of energetics. It is taking actions in alignment as a match, an energetic match for the thing that you desire or for the thing that you have just learned. And that changes who you are. Marianne Williamson says that a miracle is actually a thought and then having a new way of thinking it. So you have a thought and then there's a new perception about the thought, a new thought, and it changes your experience of what is happening. And that is the miracle. So a miracle doesn't undo something that is true, and then it doesn't make true something that is not true. But by changing the way that you see it, you change your experience of it, and then your experience changes and shifts. So that's what we're doing today. At the end of this masterclass, some of you will be like, okay, great, that was wonderful. I'm really happy. I'm going to take the replay. I'm going to listen to it over and over again and keep getting more gems. Amazing, wonderful. Some of you will say, I have a desire to step into the next version of myself. And I'll let you know what that is. If you want to stay for that and listen, you're more than welcome. If you don't, there's no offense taken, none at all. Everything is done at your own pace, right? So if you need to leave at any point during our conversation, you can say goodbye in the chat if you'd like, or you can just leave and then you can catch the replay. All right, so all that said, everybody just close your eyes. We're going to take a few deep breaths together, just so that we're on the same page energetically. You're going to take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And again, in through the nose. And out through your mouth. And one last time, in through the nose. And out through the mouth. And just bring your attention right now into here. If you've got 5 million tabs going, if you're doing other things, try and bring your focus and your attention into the present moment, into this class. If you are driving a car, then you can listen to some of this on the replay, whatever it is that you don't get right now. We're going to quiet your mind right now through the breath and just allow your body and your spirit to speak to you, to speak through you. So energetics are part of the unseen world. They are the forces that are at play in all things and also in the space between all things. If you go back to high school science class, you remember talking about different molecules and different atoms and something, how they're always in motion. Even something that is seemingly very solid that we see in our eyes is vibrating, is moving at a frequency. If you're a fan of Star Wars, energetics is like the force, right? And if you are a fan of Harry Potter, it's being able to do magic. When I talk about energetics, even to my kids, I say it is how we do magic here. So we are learning the stuff of miracles and magic. That is how awesome this is. That's why I'm so excited for all this. All right. So other words, that we can describe energetics as sometimes as energy, frequency, vibration. Okay. Energy, again, is everything, in everything, and between all things. Now, you as an individual have an energy that you give off. And there's an energetic range to it, meaning it's not stationary. It can move, depending on what state you're in, depending on the emotions, depending on who you are hanging around with, the type of information that you're listening to. However, there's a general range that you have. And you tend to stay here unless something happens to you, whether that is trauma, whether it's something that's wonderful, but you tend to stay within the same range, okay? Or unless you decide to shift out of it. Your energy can change, or your frequency can change based on emotions, based on thoughts, your identity, who you're being, all these things, the community that you're in, everything can have an effect on your energy. When we do work with the nervous system, when I teach you how to do the nervous system regulation, this allows us to decrease the amount of, let's say, time or energy that we spend in our past or in our trauma, because it brings you, your nervous system brings you to today. So let's say, for instance, you're in a car, you're driving, somebody cuts you off in traffic, and you react in anger. You're like, I can't believe they just cut me off, right? If you're able to regulate your nervous system, and this does not mean that you don't feel or experience your emotions, it just means that we don't hang out there and throw a party in our anger, right? Then you spend less time in the energy of anger. So if somebody cut you off in traffic, and it used to take you all day you spent all day in your anger, and then you learn to regulate your nervous system so it's 5 minutes in anger, then you just saved 24 hours minus 5 minutes. And so your energy, your frequency, the energetics of who you are being shifts. Now, when we're talking about the energy to manifest or to go after or receive something that you desire, you need to be an energetic match for it. So you have to be in alignment with it. And we're going to talk about further later on. Now, if your energy is such that you have a lot of anger in you, do you think it'll be closer to whether it is that you want the healing, you're looking for relationships, you're looking for wealth, abundance? Do you think it'll be anger would be closer in alignment, or joy? Most likely joy, right? Because joy is a magnetic force. It attracts more joy. Anger will attract more anger. So the least amount of time you spend there, it does not mean that you go there, but the less amount of time you spend partying in those emotions, then the more your energetics are at a match for what you actually want in this life. So that's the importance of regulating the nervous system. When we do work to increase the capacity of your nervous system, what happens is that event no longer triggers you because you've expanded your capacity to hold it. So that same person cuts you off in traffic, and now it doesn't even get you angry, you just laugh at it. Okay? Or you, instead of anger, you get irritated or irked. But those are different frequencies, right? Anger has a really big energy to it versus, it bothered me. Okay, I'm done. It's good. It's all good. So there's a difference between regulating your nervous system and then increasing the capacity of your nervous system to hold more. Okay, so the less time you spend in the frequency you don't desire, the more energy is devoted to attracting what it is that you do desire. Right? So that's the part about nervous system and energetics. When we look at identity, your identity is made up of like a series of thoughts and a series of emotions and actions that's ingrained into your nervous system. It is the lens with which you see the world, and it's also how you interpret the world. There is what is happening in reality, so there is what's happening in the world. And then there is also your interpretation of what's happening, right? How you internalize that. To change the world, you need to change the lens with which you're wearing. Similar to glasses. If you've never worn eyeglasses before, and then you start to notice that your vision is fuzzy, when you change the lenses, all of a sudden everything becomes clear. So it's how the same event can happen for somebody, for like two people, and they can experience it many different ways. And it is all about how you interpret an event. So the example I like to give is you see the 5-year-old child, it's their birthday, or sorry, let's go with this one. You're a child, you're 5 years old, and your parents, they have to go to work. It's to put food on your table, to put a roof over your head, but your interpretation of it is mom and dad aren't here for me, they don't love me, right? The reality is they have to go to work to make money. As an adult, you would understand that, but the 5-year-old child interprets it in a different way. And so the different experiences that you have had in your life, there's a multitude of ways to interpret what's happened to you. And in the interpretation, you get to decide, was this something that happened to me or for me? What did I learn from this? All the things. And so when we shift the energetics of a person, we are shifting the unseen and the seen. What you attracted to you changes because you've changed. How you interact with the world changes because your experience of the world changes. So with all the pillars that I teach, the important thing to focus on is that it's not about what you're doing, it's about who you're being. Energetics, identity, nervous system, it's who are you being? Who are you being that gives off a certain frequency or code that is sent out into the universe, God, spirit, whatever it is that you subscribe to, whatever name that you would like, higher power, and then you attract things of that same energy right back to you. Okay? And we don't receive what we want in the world. Okay? Everyone's like, I want this, I want that. We don't receive what we want. We receive what you're an energetic match to receive. You receive what you are an energetic match to receive. This is why a lot of people, when we talk about energetics, the law of attraction and manifestation, they're like, it doesn't work for me. They're like, I asked for $1 million and it didn't drop out of the sky. This stuff doesn't work. You asked for the $1 million, okay? Are you an energetic match for receiving it? Have you built the pathways for that to come to you? Are you the person? Have you grown into the person? Do you have the skills that are required to be an energetic match for the $1 million? So today we're going to talk about 4 things that you need to know about energetics. Number 1, your energetics are your responsibility. Eek. So if you let the outside world dictate your inner state, then you are constantly going to be giving up your power to somebody or something outside of yourself. So you are at the mercy of the angry driver that cuts you off. You've given up your power to your boss. Okay, you've given up your power to what other people will think of you. You've given up your power to the news because they say something and you react to it. That is if you source your energy from the outside. So the people that you hang around with, the words that you listen to, all those become important because, especially when you let the outside world dictate your energetic state. So you are a reaction. You exist as a reaction to what's happening. Another way, if you're taking your energetics as your responsibility, is you source your energy from within. You decide how you want the world to respond to you. You tap into your creativity. You are the creator. You are the one. You tap into the inner spirit in the whatever it is that you believe in, higher power, higher self, part within you, higher consciousness that is within you. So you source your energy from inside, and then the world responds to you. But ultimately, the most people live as a reaction to the outer world versus being the creator of your own energy. And then the world reacts to you. The world responds to you. Reaction is about reacting from something in the past. Respond is your ability to respond, responsibility. is your ability to respond to a situation. If you're acting or reacting, that means it's out of something that's happened from the past. It's triggered. There's this trigger that's coming from the past. If you are responding, that means you're in the present moment. You are right here and right now, and you are choosing the energy with which you want to respond to the situation. You either respond to the world or react to the world, or you create the energy for the world to respond to you. We see this when people say, like, I'm waiting for the right time. I'm waiting for the universe to line up this, that, or the other. I'm waiting for my finances to be in order before I do this. I'm waiting to focus on, I'm waiting for a better job before I focus on relationships. I'm waiting when I'm waiting. When I get into a relationship, I'm going to do this. When I have more time, I'm going to do that. Right? So you're waiting for the universe or the, world, and then you're going to react to it. So the universe delivers you a job, you're going to be like, all right, now I can go do this, that, or the other thing. Versus I'm doing it now and I'm going to make this time right. I'm choosing to do it right now, or I'm choosing this. I'm stepping into this, and then I will make this the right time. Right? And this isn't a thing about you're running out of time or there's no time, because that's coming from a place of lack. It is really that you are here and it is right now. So the timing is now. Right? You choose to take a step in the direction of that you desire, and then you make the time right. That is you responding. You respond, or you set the pace, you set the tone, you set the energetics and the frequency for how the universe meets you. Okay. We always say, like, we wait for a better time, and we assume that we still have all the capabilities, all the gifts that we have right now. But how often have you heard of someone, or even yourself, not appreciating what you have until it's gone? Right? How many times have people gotten into an accident and they don't have the same capabilities? They're like, I will travel when I am, this or that. And then I'll travel when I have the money. I'll travel when I retire. And then when they go to retire, they're sick and they can't travel, right? But you waited all this time instead of saying, okay, I'm going to travel now. And then you would have already traveled. Right? So this isn't about making you hurry to decide on something. It's just about making now, while you have the capabilities, while you have the gifts, you have the strength, you have the courage to do something now. Okay, so you are, number one principle in energetics is you are responsible for your own energetic state. The big idea here is that you are the creator of your own energetic state, instead of letting the outside world or circumstances dictate your state. This means you are a creator, you're a visionary. If you let what other people think about you, feel about you, oh, I can't do this because you've always had a desire to start a business, and you're like, oh, but if I start a business, what will Sam and Julie think of me? What will my family say? What if they don't agree with me? Okay, so you're going to stop your dream of starting a business or your vision based on other people. Right? Then you gave your power to them, because by worrying about what they're thinking, you're giving them the power to stop your dreams. Okay? The other option, you decide, now is the time, this is my vision, I'm going to source my power from within. And then if they say something, let them say it. Whatever emotions they have, they can have them. And it does not derail you on your path to greatness, or your path to joy, or your path to healing. Right? Do not let other people's fears stop you from your desire to be healthy, your desire to heal, your desire to be in a relationship, your desire to be financially secure. Right? Your personal frequency is your personal power, and you are the one responsible. What's principle number one? See how fun this is? Okay, principle number two. So energy happens in the now, right now. It happens in the present moment. The question isn't if the energy or energetics or vibration or frequency is here now or not. The question is, are you available to meet it? Are you present enough in this moment to be here, to greet the energy, to receive the energy, to create the energy when it's here? Because you can't go into the past and change your energy there because it's already been emitted. You can't go to the future and change what hasn't happened yet. And also, by the time that your future comes, it's already happening in the now anyway. The energy part is happening in the now. So all you have with your energy is right now. How available are you in this moment and in this one, and in this one, and in this one to receive the frequency and to receive the things that you are an energetic match for? Even in hearing me talk for the last 20 minutes, you are and regulating your breath and breathing all together, you are at a different energetic state than you were when you came in. And so you're already attracting right now in this moment, different level thoughts. As you hear me talk, it might trigger things from the past, like memories from the past. It might trigger different things that you remember, that you desire. It might trigger something, a key into your business. The energy, as we create this energy and we increase the frequency of it, your energetics increases and you are going to receive more in this moment. In this moment, though. So how available are you when it comes to this moment? How present are you, even though, like, do you have 24 tabs open in your phone or in your whatever device you're listening on, right? Are you scrolling on your phone? Do you have social media open? All the things. Can you be here to receive all that is here in this moment? The answers that you're seeking for, like for the next step, you don't need to know 100 steps. You only need to know the next step. And the answer is right here, if you're ready to receive it. So when you go to the gym, if you've never gone to the gym before, you can have a gym with like 1 million pieces of equipment. But if you're a beginner, you don't need the 500-pound weights. You don't need the squat rack. You don't need any of that because you wouldn't know how to use it anyway. So all you need is the next step. You need someone to say, okay, what is my next step? That's it. So be here in this moment because the energy is happening right now to receive your next step. The answers are already here. You just need to take the step. Okay, so number 3. Wealth is a frequency. And it's happening right now. We are actually going to be doing a whole month in the Daily Dose of Healing, and that's my membership, about the frequency of wealth, well, embodied wealth. And so wealth is a frequency. Wealth is also abundance. If you were to invite wealth or abundance into this moment, what would it feel like? What does wealth feel like for you? What does it mean to be wealthy for you? And if you say, well, I'm not wealthy, I don't have anything, then that's what you're going to find. So the key is to start with finding something that you are wealthy about. If in your mind you say, well, I can't go to, let's say, the car dealership and buy every single car on the lot, because that would be wealth. No, you probably could not. And maybe you could go to the dollar store and buy any one thing that you desire. You could be wealthy in the dollar store. And the reason I bring up that example is my kids. They finished school a couple weeks ago, and I took them to the dollar store because, well, they asked to go there. And when we go to the dollar store, they can pick out anything they want, anything that they desire. So they love it there. If we go to something like Toys R Us and I give them a limit and they look at all their toys, the toys that they want, like the price goes way, very, very high, very quickly, and they can't get anything they desire. But if they go to the dollar store, they feel wealthy there because they can find it, whatever they want for $1, right? And so look at what wealth is here right now. Invite wealth. The lens that you see the world, invite wealth into that. So what does wealth feel like? If you looked at wealth, let's say you could have a conversation with wealth. How would wealth stand? If you had to embody wealth in your body right now, what would you do? So if you're just sitting here and you go, okay, wealth, how would you stand? You might notice that you lift yourself up a little higher, that you open yourself a little more. How would wealth walk? Okay, if you're talking about wealth, would they be like running and in a hurry? No. Wealth is not in a hurry. There's no rush to wealth. It is here. It is now. In this moment. Right? Where can you feel wealth right now? You're getting a wealth of information right now. You're receiving a wealth. Right? There's an abundance of air to breathe right now. We are so lucky to be in a place where we have fresh air to breathe. Right now, here in the present, there is a wealth of air to breathe. Do you feel any sensations in your body? You can feel a wealth of sensations in your body. You can feel in different parts of your body. There are people who cannot feel in parts of their body. There are people who have parts of their body where they no longer feel. And if you have the ability to feel in certain areas, in all areas, then you have your wealth in that you have the ability to feel. So where is wealth right now? It's right here. And how does that feel? If you wanted to become wealth, what actions would you take to show yourself that you are worthy? So right now, as you're standing here or sitting here, we talked about a wealth of breath, a wealth of your heart beating, right? Your heart has been beating since the day that you were born. For most people, unless you've had a heart attack, it has not skipped a beat. Wow, how many people can say that? There's a wealth of information that you're hearing now, but also in your body, there's an abundance of things happening without you even think about it. There's air exchange, the blood cells, like new cells are being formed. So much stuff is going on in this moment. And it is, how present are you to that? If you were to tap into the frequency of wealth, the energetics of wealth, how would wealth eat? Like imagine going into a high-end store, whether it's a jewelry store, and if you haven't been in one, I want you to go in to your favorite like high-end jewelry store, handbag store, whatever it is, even like high-end cars. Just walk into the store, the showroom, to see what wealth feels like. To give you a sense of that frequency within your nervous system. Because once you tap into it, then you can start to calibrate to it. And you don't have, it doesn't mean that you buy like 100 million fancy cars unless it is something that you desire. It is just being in the energetics, in the frequency of wealth will attract more to you. It is attracting more of the energy. In order to attract more wealth into your life, the frequency of it, you have to be aware of the wealth that's already here now. Okay? So if you were to tap into the frequency of wealth, how would wealth eat? What would wealth wear? How would wealth behave? Like what actions does wealth take? This is how you tap into the energetics of wealth. You ask yourself these questions and then you start to say, if I was wealth, I am saying I am wealth now. How would I eat? How would I move through the world? What would I think? What kinds of thoughts would be here? What would I need to tap into? And then you start seeing that you are in fact wealthy. And then all of a sudden, your experience of wealth changes. And you go, wow, look at that. some wealth in my life. All of a sudden, pop, new job opportunity. Oh, new business opportunity. And then the world changes. The way you see the world changes, that your experience of the world changes. Miracle. A miracle is happening right now. So if you can get into the energetics behind wealth, and we're going to talk about receiving, but there's energy behind everything, then the more you attract to you. If all you see is lack of feeling healthy, whatever it is, you will attract more of the lack. So, sorry, I'm just going to take a sip of water. I have patients that come in and they will say, all right, my body's not healing. Okay, why do you say that? Because I've had this low back pain for years and years and years. Okay, I understand. And then the focus becomes on lack of health because I have low back pain. We are not saying your low back pain is not there, because we do want to address it, and it is there, and it is the reality. And also the focus is also going to be, well, if I cut your finger, do you think you're going to heal? Yeah, of course. If you get a bruise, do you think you'll heal? Yeah, sure. If you break your ankle, even though it's going to be longer recovered, do you still feel you can heal? Yes. Oh, but you don't think you can heal from your low back pain? Heal from your low back pain. Huh, interesting. So we want to see that if it is possible in one area, that is the energetics, then it is also possible to attract more of it. So instead of focusing on the lack, instead of focusing on the illness, we want to focus on the energetics of what we desire, which is health, which is healing. It's different. Right? When you see the wealth that's already here, when you see the health that's already here, then you get more of it. You attract more of it. So how does wealth receive? That's another question you can ask. If you're not here in the present right now to receive, you're not going to hear the information of wealth from your senses. You're not going to hear the whispers of your body that are your intuition that's trying to tell you what your next step is. You're not going to be able to see the gifts, let's say, that your ancestors have sent to you. And a lot of us are like, oh, my ancestors sent me wounds and trauma. They also sent you gifts, okay? But you were so focused on the wounding and the trauma that you did not see the gifts. There are gifts as well, but it's all happening when you embody that wealth is here right now. The energetics of what is wealth? What is abundance? What is spirit, God, universe, whatever you subscribe to, your higher self? What is it? They, are they, she, he? Again, use whatever words resonate with you the most, telling you right now. Okay? If you are looking for wealth in your finances, wealth in your relationships, wealth in your health, are you an energetic match for what you desire? All comes back to the frequency. All right, and the last thing I want to tell you about with energetics is you can ask for what you desire, but do you know how to receive? There is a frequency to receiving. We are used to giving, but can you receive? If someone gives you a compliment, someone's like, oh, Dr. Amanda, you're such a good healer. What do? Do I say right away? Usually I say, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to sit here and receive the frequency of your compliment. But I wasn't that way. Before, when someone paid me a compliment, I tried to pay one back right away so that I would give again. So if someone gave me a compliment, I would give them one in return. But then I never took the time to receive the gift of their compliment. And how fun is it to receive something or to even give the gift of something is so fun. Like you enjoy gifting people things that they desire. But if they don't receive it, then you don't really get to give your gift. Right? I grew up, and I know a lot of us grew up being taught it's better to give than receive. It's better to give than receive. Okay, so if everyone is doing all the giving, who's doing the receiving? Right? Who's completing the other side of the giving? It's in the receiving that someone else gets to give in the first place. If I receive the gift, that means the giver gets to give. But if everybody is give, then there's nothing on the other side to receive. So wealth is a good receiver. The frequency and the energetics of wealth comes to you when you can receive. Right? It is better to give and receive. How does the giver feel when something isn't received well? Pretty bad, right? And how do you feel when you get a gift from someone that you know they will love, right? You are so excited to give it to them because you know how happy they will be to receive it. You get that feeling of, I nailed it. Like at Christmas, when I give my kids, I get them a gift that I know that they're gonna love, that's gonna just light them up, I am so excited to give them the gift because I know how much excitement they are gonna have in receiving it. And I've talked to you guys before about my daughter. She is such a great receiver that it makes everybody want to give her more. And so she gets more. When you give her something, she's like over the moon, like a sticker. She'll be like, Mama, Madame gave me a sticker today. Oh my goodness, look at the sticker I got. Yes, it's so amazing. I love stickers. Stickers are amazing. I can't believe I got a sticker today. And it's a sticker, right? And she is just so happy. She's like, look, it's on my hand. I got it for dressing the fastest, for putting my snowsuit on the fastest at school. And I have this wonderful sticker. And you're like, would you like more stickers? She's like, yes, open this. I'm getting more stickers. Because she is just so, so happy to receive. And if you think about the universe, like you as a parent and a relationship with your child, and the universe as a relationship to you, the universe wants to give to people who want to receive, the ones that celebrate everything, the ones that have gratitude for everything they receive. Something happens and you go, thank you, universe. Oh my gosh, thank you. And you're like, I love it. It's just the way I wanted. Oh my goodness, it's the perfect color. How did you set it up so that I receive this? I am the luckiest person in the world. And the universe goes, yep, more for you, more for you, more for you. That is energetics. You need to be in the energy of receiving to receive even more. Giving and receiving are two sides of the same coin. So, when you get into the frequency of receiving, the universe gives you even more to receive. Today, we talked about energetics. What are energetics? How you're responsible for your own energy. How energy takes place right now, in this moment. How wealth is a frequency. How to be an energetic match for wealth. And then also the energetics of receiving. Now, these are just 4 examples that we've been talking about for energetics. Each month in my membership called the Daily Dose of Healing, we pick a specific topic and I teach a training every single day of that month. So right now, in this month, we're in July, we're talking about all things pleasure. It's pleasure in July. And pleasure is however it is that you want to define it, same with wealth, right? And so we did a month as well on energetics, an entire month, 30 trainings on energetics. There's months on worthiness, there's months on gratitude, all the different things. And so if this is something that you enjoyed listening about and that you want to continue to hear more, then the opportunity is for you to join us in the daily dose of healing. You can join us for a month. The investment is $99 and you get access to over 300 trainings. Or you can stay forever. It's either month to month for as long as you want, right? You get access to all the trainings as long as you're a member. And I'll send out a link in the replay. So if you are called to continuing this conversation, especially with the energetics, you can tap into the rest of the entire month on energetics. You would also get access to this month, which is for pleasure. Every month or two, I do this free masterclass. There's going to be another one in September. Okay. Next month, I am doing an immersion. An immersion is like an experience with me. That's for 7 days straight. The last one was Embodied Identity, and it was a work of art. I loved it. It was one of my favorite trainings ever. The next training is going to be Embodied Wealth. It's a 7-day immersion. We're going to be talking about all things wealth. You had a little piece of it today, but we're going to go 7 days in training of it on wealth, value, self-worth, right? We're going to talk about it through the lens of the nervous system, increasing your nervous system's capacity for wealth, tapping into your wealth identity, the energetics of being wealthy. We only did a little bit this time. We're going to be doing 7 days of training on it. Again, the investment for this one is the same. It's $99. And as a bonus, you also get a free month into the daily dose of healing, which is also $99. So, excuse me, essentially you're getting an entire month for free in the daily dose of healing if you wanted to come to this embodied wealth immersion. So those would be the next steps. If you heard something here today that you would like to take I'm going to put this in the group. There you go. There's the link. I'll also send it out in the replay. But if you heard something today that you want to take the next step towards, if you heard something that you're like, if I go deeper into this principle, it has the potential to continue to change my life. You also get the replay for today. And you can watch this over and over again, and you're going to get new pieces each time. But if you want to go in more depth training, then we've got 2 possibilities. We've got the Embodied Wealth Immersion for 7 days coming up at the end of July, July 31st until August, whatever a week from that is. And then, which you also get a month in the daily dose of healing. Or if you don't want to come into the Embodied Wealth Immersion and you just want to come into the daily dose of healing, you are welcome to do that as well. In the Embodied Wealth Immersion, there is a VIP option if you want to add a 30-minute one-on-one call for me. Again, I will send out the links. And other than that, our next masterclass is in September. I have not decided the theme yet. So if there is something that you would like to learn more about, you can send me a message, hit reply, and I will let you know. Is there anyone who has any questions? You can type it in the chat. You can take yourself off mute if you desire. You can also reply to me in an email that I'll be sending out when this is complete. I will give it another minute. And otherwise, I thank you so much for being here. It has been such an amazing conversation. I really love having these talks about energetics, about the things that are unseen, because we never learn about them. And yet they've been written about. If you look back in different history in the books, it's always been there. And yet we were never taught. And it is the missing link for a lot of people to manifest, to go from every idea started off as an idea. Everything that you have, like your phone, your pencil, your water bottle, it all started in somebody's head. And then it came out and manifested in the material world. And so knowing the energetics allows you to take from the thought world, the mental world, the spiritual world, and then manifest it in the material world. Whatever it is that you desire, whether it be health, whether it be relationships, whether it be money and finances. So have a wonderful day. It has been lovely seeing you. I will catch you on the replay. If you're interested in continuing, I will send out the links as well. I would love to invite you into the 7-day embodied journey that we're going to be going on, embodied wealth journey, because it is how you're going to take your wealth to your next level. It's going to be talking about your codes, your specific wealth codes that we are going to unlock. All right. Have a wonderful day. Thank you all for coming.